T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone. Right now I'm reviewing Transformers Masterpiece movie series number 4, Optimus Prime, as you can see right here. Here's the packaging. Looks like that on the front, this on the side, this stuff on the back, which I'm going to talk about in the review, this picture right there, this up here, and pretty much nothing on the bottom. One thing I found out watching the Cincy Nerd live stream, I believe it was a live stream, there's no Toys R Us exclusive sticker like this guy has right here. So I don't know what's up with that. I believe all Masterpiece figures going forward since, right before 2008 started being Toys R Us exclusives. So I don't know what's up with that. But anywho, while we have the boxes out here, that's how much longer than the Bumblebee box it is, and that's how much wider and taller it is. So there you go with that. Let's bring this dude back in here. And yes, for the people that's lazy and can't sit through a whole review, yes, this very much is a Masterpiece version of the movie Optimus Prime. It is like the best transforming version of the Optimus Prime figure depicted in the movies. And I really, really like it. About the only thing aesthetically that it has a problem, well, not the only thing, but one of the main things that take away from the movie image is this back stuff right here. In the movie, and I blame it on the movie artist because they changed a lot of things that can't be done in real life. Like these go from being long to really wide on his back, and these wrap around way tighter right here, and they kind of mold it to his back. So the movie has a lot of parts on Optimus Prime's body that can't naturally become the forms they became in the movie. Like these doors right here are like wrapped around his arm. It's like, do you know how much or how many moving parts you would have to be able to do that? And it like literally takes the shape. There's no hinges, so it takes the shape of his arm. That's impossible without any morphing, which Hasbro said that was a rule that they had. No morphing. Transformers need to transform. And I will give them credit. The way he transformed in the movie, at least in the scene where he met Sam Witwicky, the transformation is very close to that. So what they came up with in the movie is very close to what they were able to replicate right here. So I have to give it to them with that. This guy has a ton of die cast. Like this whole foot part right here, not the toes on the side, but everything in the center, die cast. This shin, die cast, and I'm not sure how deep that goes in, but it's a lot of die cast. This gut piece right here, and let's move this out of the way. Come on. Guess it would be better if I open the doors up or the windows. Move this out the way. This whole gut piece is die cast. It has plastic on this side, but the die cast even shifts up into the body right there. But I'm opening all this so you can see his matrix chamber right here. And the matrix is also die cast. It's kind of difficult to get out because it's pegged in there very tightly, but here is how big this thing is compared to his body. But here you go with the matrix right there. I believe they had to take a few liberties with the design so that it can peg into his gut. But there you go. And this also is die cast, if I didn't mention that. So now with that back in there, I'm going to close this little door, shut that up into his gut, and shut this and bring these pieces back over. Now, I'm not sure, but these little lights right here might be die cast, and I think this is very amazing. You'll probably see it in the transformation. But these actually become the lights on the front of the truck. I thought they were like fake, but the fact that they were able to accomplish that is amazing. But if I have any complaints with the figure, certain things don't tab in as well as I would like. Like, there's a little groove in spot with this, but these move constantly while you're trying to manipulate the figure. These smokestacks move too. What else? Big complaint. Might not too big because I got over it. But this color gray that they went with right here, I don't like that. A lot of his parts are painted silver, and they should be a silver color. But they went with this dark, smoky dark gray, and I'd rather they went with a lighter gray if they weren't going to paint it. But it should have been painted because this is a masterpiece figure. Maybe they didn't want to paint certain joints and whatnot, but also, like this design right there, it's like they half-assed with the paint, really. Like this canister on his shoulder. Silver right here, but since it's the bottom of the truck in truck mode, they didn't paint that. But then they said screw it to the fact that you do see that front and center in robot mode. So why did they cheap out that bad? I don't know. They didn't paint a ton of the back either. This whole part is painted, thankfully, but things like this wraparound piece right there, they did not paint the back. So depending on how much you pay attention to them, and oh, this is the worst. They painted half of these canisters. I mean, when you're looking at them, you don't really see all that, but they were lazy right there. My figure has a QC issue. Now, what you're supposed to do with these right here is lift this joint straight up and then hinge this up like that. That's how it was in the movie. Mine, I can hinge this up and hinge this way. And now his chest is doing the people's eyebrow. I don't know what to do to fix that. I probably could warp it or do something to fix it myself, but I don't know how to do it. It's weird. These little gray hinges are exactly the same on both sides. It looks similar. I think it looks like this part right here isn't pinching enough, but hopefully you won't have that problem. But now I see this video is already 8 minutes and I haven't even done articulation. Oh goodness. Let's get to the face, which is awesomely sculpted and great painted. Unfortunately, this chin, this is one gripe that I have to another gripe. In order for him to look more than this and this, you have to lift the chin up over his shoulder pieces right there. But now he's always like looking up a little bit and off to the side. I wish he could look down a little bit, but you can't. Because of the head swap gimmick, they molded the neck like that. Or maybe they just thought that's the best thing to do for him, to be able to look all the way up. But there you go. Here's the back of his head. I don't know why they have the random gray piece instead of making that blue. I noticed when I first opened this that this was out like that. And I don't know if that functions for anything. It like slides down. I don't know what that does. It stops his head from being able to go up higher than that. Maybe that's what that's supposed to do. But I always keep it locked in right there. And for the head swap gimmick, push this back, lift the face out till it clears, rotate it, and now he has this battle mask, which I really do like. And I love that they incorporated that. That is awesome. That's one of the best face swaps I've ever experienced right there. Now, this is all the way pushed in, but you can leave it pushed out a little bit if you like that better. It does show the paint right there on the side, or the plastic, but I don't know. Maybe it should be like this, or maybe this is right. You decide when you get it. Here is the gun. Yeah, like I said, I wish it was silver, because it's supposed to be these tanks on his back, or one of his tanks. Looks like that on that side. The hands hold it nicely. All three of these fingers are on one pin at the base knuckle, and this finger is on a pin at the base knuckle and another pin halfway through. Now, his finger isn't completely straight, but when you pose him like that, you won't really notice that. The thumb just articulates at the mid knuckle right there, so you can give a thumbs up, which is cool. And let's get straight into articulation. Besides that, the wrists rotate all the way around, and they come in to accommodate his next accessory that I'm going to show off later. The elbow bends more than 90 degrees. I love that. I love that. I wish they were able to do that with Bumblebee. They slightly can do that with Bumblebee when you put it out to the side, but they didn't get it as good as this. Bicep swivel. All of that right there. And of course 360 this way. Showed the head off already. He has a waist joint that could technically rotate all the way around 360, but pieces bump. And as you saw, I can shift these hips up and down. The legs go out completely to the side. They kick completely forward, almost completely back. He has no thigh swivel, but he does have a mid thigh swivel right there. Instead of the I guess I meant hip swivel. He has mid thigh swivel. And he has double jointed knees. Lovely. Lovely. The ankles can tilt that much. They could probably tilt more if this piece wasn't in the way. And the feet go completely back due to transformation and come forward a little bit. And these toes, they just wobble, like mainly this one, up and down. So that's that for articulation. Next accessory, he comes with two of these swords. They have this Cybertronian text right there. You can translate that on your own, because they do have those translation sheets at Toys R Us. So it's nice. It has a little clip like that and a clip like that, so I can connect with the gun. So depending on what you want, like I prefer the metal at the top. So I would have to have this one on the right hand. You use the little plastic peg to be further away from the hand. And now here's what you're working with. This was a Revenge of the Fallen thing where the sword came out behind his hand. I think because maybe Hasbro probably talked to them like, we can't reproduce the hand becoming a knife, the sword. So please put the sword behind the hand. And it works well. I like it. I like it a lot. Here's a feature you can't quite see because it's covered, but his trailer hitch is right there. You can store this here if you want, like that, just to keep it on him, or put it like this, just to keep it on his body so you won't lose anything. And you can attach the swords into there on the side. I'll show that off in truck mode. He does feature a stand port right there in the bottom of his butt, and that may even be a different size stand port right there. So yeah, I really like this figure. Before I forget, he does have a nice weight and an awesome feel. It's like, I complain about Transformers feeling cheap and whatnot, even with the more higher end figures, but for the price this guy costs, this feels good. I am tremendously shocked that he's not over $100. Here he is next to MPM3 Bumblebee. MP10. Generation Toy Op X. And I haven't mentioned this, but Optimus his height is variable. He could even be taller depending on how you elongate his hips. And Masterpiece Megatron MP36. Side note, you don't have to pose your toys to make them look like they're posing. Like I said, I really like this robot mode. Any complaints I have besides the QC issues is really just a nitpick. This is a really good figure. But anyway, transformation. I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to transform this guy for the sake of time, because what I mean is I'm not going to be announcing everything I'm doing. Just pay attention and watch. I'm going to talk on this part. This hood never sits. That's a universal problem with every figure. I mean, you could push it tightly right there, but once you start putting everything together, it's going to lift up. MGO suggested that you put this part of the door and this part of the door together and rotate them in at the same time. That kind of works for me for a while, but it doesn't work very successfully, so I'm not going to kill myself with that. I'm going to just pretty much just give you the same experience you're going to have, because who has time to sit around and worry about that? Oh, shit. I did forget one thing. You need to pull this little thing out of here. It's not important, as you saw. I could still transform her without it, but technically you're supposed to lift these out. Oh, Jesus. Now, basically, he's done. I mean, you can push that in as tight as you can, but yeah, he's a truck. You might have to give everything a good after squeeze like you have to do with a ton of other Transformers. But you pull these little things out that I forgot to pull out so they can attach to this, but they never attach. Mine seem to come down and meet up a little bit better than every other reviewer I've seen. Every other reviewer, those things don't come anywhere near there, but I'm able to get that good. Only thing my toy has is these don't match up because of the quality control issue. But let's see. You should be able to roll. Yeah, if you do everything right. So it looks nice. I like it. Now, if I wasn't rushing, I was able to get this a little bit more flush. Normally, the first 5 times I've transformed this thing, but it's coming up worse than anything right now. So, my hood also isn't popping up as bad as some people's, which is good. So, the truck mode is where this toy suffers because they should have perfected this before they pushed it out. I have a feeling that they rushed this out to coincide with the movie. But they could have waited. They could have honestly gave it a few more months to figure out the kinks, and then release this around the DVD release time. But I'm guessing y'all gonna want me to compare these to other Optimus Primes and Bumblebee. Oh boy, let me show you what I can do. Let's see what I can do. And he has a feature back here, a couple of features back here. Feature number 1, these plug into the gun. Unfortunately, I'm seeing stress marks from shoving the pegs in here. Maybe I pushed them in too tight. But you could plug this into here and have him carry his weapons like that, or plug it in this way so it's not all hanging off in the back. But there you go right there. Of course, you could point these down that way too if you want. Besides making him a perfect representation of Optimus Prime from the movies, they had to work in little things like making him the exact right size to carry MP10's trailer right there. So you can see you can make like a full turn with this trailer right there. And of course it plugs into the extra 2 slots that was there beside the little slot for the gun. Here's how big he is next to Bumblebee right here. I think Bumblebee should be a little bit smaller, to be honest. But there you go with that right there. And here is MP10. I'm crazy. I was going to transform OpX, but then I realized, OpX is about the same size as this guy, so there you go with that right there. So, I think this Optimus is probably a little bit too big compared to that, looking at the seats right there. That's why I say the same thing for Bumblebee. This windshield shouldn't be as wide as that, so probably a Scout class car would be in scale with this right here. And here's Megatron, Masterpiece Megatron. There you go with that right there. Here's something I didn't think to try in my Bumblebee review, but he actually can fit into Optimus Prime. That's amazing right there. So there you go with that. So besides some clearance issues and whatnot, which might drive you up the wall, but how many times are you going to take this guy out of robot mode when the robot mode is awesome? I mean, you can't give him a pass completely because of that. And mine has QC issues right there. I guess I could keep my receipt and try to return this when it actually becomes in stock, so I can get one that might possibly not have that, but then I might open the next one to find out that it has that too. I haven't heard of anybody else complaining about that online, but everything else, I love the way it's painted. I love the way everything does fall together besides the stuff I mentioned. But yeah, it's a nice truck, but it's definitely a nice robot mode, and I feel like ending this video, so I'm not going to transform this thing for my final statements. I really like this figure right here, especially the robot mode. The robot mode, I think, is damn near perfection. It's like a 9.5 out of 10 to me. So I would definitely recommend this for just that alone. The fact that it can transform is a plus. It would have been better if they executed this in a better way with certain things like how that lines up. And here's the problem. It's something going on right here that's making this door push that up. So there you go with that. But anyway, if you watched all of this, thank you for watching it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Share. Click the like button. Click the like button right now. Please. I'd like a lot of likes. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Thank you for watching.